Cycle 1, Week 16, number 130, stretch. This is all about how the earth moves under our feet on the plates of Earth's crust. So we're going to be talking about different types of stress. And to demonstrate tension stress, we're going to be using a balloon and a Sharpie. All the kids will have one. They're going to draw a rectangle on the balloon. And then the two sort of ends, like you're going to separate it into 3 parts with the outer 2 parts colored in. Like that. And then we're going to blow up the balloon and just hold it to be able to talk about it. We don't need to tie them off. And you're going to have kids that can't blow up a balloon. It's really okay. They can just look at their neighbors. I would not suggest blowing up somebody else's, and maybe just prepare them for that. Just say, if you can't blow up your balloon, it's no problem. You can take it home and your mom can help you. You can just look on with your neighbor who can blow up their balloon. And if all else fails, your balloon will blow up, so that's fine. Okay, so don't make a big deal about like getting every single balloon blown up. So I'm gonna blow up mine. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there so we can see this well. So it started off as a rectangle, and now we can see that it's really misshapen. This balloon is sort of representing like plates of the earth that come under tension stress, which is when a plate gets stretched. And we can see that this is being stretched in different ways. This side is much bigger than this side. Not much, but it is bigger. You can tell that this side is larger than this side. And these different types of stress are what moves these plates around and cause earthquakes. Like tension stress is one of the ones that causes earthquakes, according to these wonderful notes by Nicole Liam. I'm going to let my balloon go, but you could talk about you could look at everybody's and compare everybody's and see if different people's look different. My kids love balloons. I think these are going to become crazy in class, maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some of the other different kinds of tension stress just by talking through them. Hang on one second, please. So there's also shear stress. With shear stress, crust tiles move in opposite directions. So it's like, so the Earth's crust is floating on plates on magma. It's floating on magma, these plates. So if they slide across each other, they could break off pieces of each other as they slide. They could also overlap each other. So it's sort of like scissors. So this is like shear stress, how the plates, like the scissor pieces, are sliding across each other and rubbing against each other. And then there's compression stress, which is when plates are squeezed together. So I'm gonna supply some silly putty to both of my classes. We're gonna break it into 2 pieces, and we're gonna say, like, pretend like these are the 2 plates. And if they come under compression stress, they're gonna be squeezed together. And so this is my hand is the pressure being applied. I'm applying it to both. And what's happening? It's squeezing out, right? So this can represent mountains being formed sometimes when they're under compression stress. It could also represent holes being formed that are releasing magma, which would be like a volcano. That's compression stress. Ooh, this is sticky. Sticky, sticky. And the 4th kind is called confining stress, and it's like compressing a stress ball and making it shrink. So I don't have a stress ball handy. I might try to get them for that day, but if you have a stress ball and you squeeze it, you can make it smaller, right? While you're applying the pressure, you can make it smaller, and then as soon as you release the pressure, it's going to fill back up. But imagine a part of a plate being squeezed and made smaller. What's going to happen to the earth around it? It's going to be void. It's going to be empty while that's being compressed. So that's actually what causes sinkholes, is when that confining stress happens. So it would be handy to have an actual stress ball to show that, how you can squeeze a stress ball and it actually makes it smaller momentarily. And so if that were part of the earth and it got squeezed, then the area around it would actually then be empty, which is not good. If there are heavy things above it, or whatever. If the earth is just heavy above it, much less a building or something, it can cause holes to form in the earth that are called sinkholes. Okay, and then the second, hang on please. The second one is number 132, Spurt. This is all about volcanoes. So to talk about volcanoes, I have some very cheap toothpaste where half of the tube has been squeezed out. And, no ma'am. And every kid is going to have a tube of toothpaste. We are leaving the lids on. We are not taking them off. We might talk about what would happen if we did take them off, but we're not actually going to take them off. We're just going to squeeze these around and talk about kind of what happens. Like if I squeeze near the top, when it's full, it's going to fill up there, but also some of it's going to go down. If I squeeze down here, it's going to go up, but it leaves, empty places. So you're going to talk about what it's like, that's sort of like magma moving around under the earth. And then you're going to use a lovely picture. You really do need a picture. So whether you're using Nicole Liam's awesome color picture, Print This in Color, or somewhere else that you find, you can talk through these different ways that magma escapes the earth through laccoliths, which form these bubbles of magma, and sometimes that comes out as like a volcano, but sometimes that just forms a mountain. You've got these dikes which shoot straight up, and all these different things that you could talk about, all these different ways that magma could come out of the earth. So she explains that a little bit better in her write-up about volcanoes, but that's kind of a short thing to talk about volcanoes. So I got a book that's got a whole section on volcanoes. So this is the book I got. I found it on Amazon. It's like 4 books in one. So one of the books is Volcanoes, and this is I think it's a level 2 book, so it's pretty short. So you could read through it, whatever you felt like was interesting to share about volcanoes. I think kids are generally pretty interested in volcanoes, so that should keep their attention pretty well.